Hey everybody, this is Teresa over at whatwouldyourhairdressersay.com. Still in a hotel room, as you can tell. Been traveling a lot this last few weeks, so I thought I'd try to answer some questions. I had, something that come to my mind that seemed to always pop up with my clients, especially the girls. I'm sure the boys had issues with this too, so this answer would apply to both. And the question is, I really, really, really don't get along with my parents. What can I do to change that? There's a lot you can do to change how you get along with your parents. And I look back at when I was a teenager and I'm like, oh my gosh, sorry mom and dad. I think I was pretty mouthy. And the reason that I was mouthy is because I was like, hey, I don't like how that is. I don't like that rule. I don't like how this is going. And I would just get mouthy about it. And instead of just saying, hey, mom or dad, I just really don't like how you talk to me. I don't really like how, you always say, because I said so. Or you tell me to do something and I don't understand why, and you don't want to explain it. Like, I have a brain and I think that I would like to learn from you. Would you please explain? And I see that happening a lot with kids that they are just having this huge communication issue with their parents. And what I always say to my daughters is that when you're not being straight up with somebody, it means that you're acting out sideways. And how that looks is like one kid could like lash out and become mouthy like I did, where another parent or another kid could become kind of passive aggressive, where like, yeah, I'll clean my room, and they don't. Or, yeah, I'm going over to my friend's house and I'm actually going to a movie with my boyfriend. All sorts of stuff where you check out, you go spend time in your room, you're watching movies in your room, you're just not hanging out with your family. And what happens is the relationship starts to erode quickly. So, like, my advice to kids, and to even my own daughters, if they're having an issue with me or I'm having an issue with them, is talk about it. Okay, talk about the actual behavior. All right, so a lot of kids get into trouble because they start getting disrespectful with their parents. Okay, and they often will say, well, they don't deserve my respect because they don't treat me with respect. And my response to that is, you treat people with respect because of who you are. It has nothing to do with the other person. You want to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I handled that well. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to do it perfectly. It doesn't mean you can't look back and go, yeah, I could have done that a little different, and this is what I'm going to do next time. But thinking that you can just mouth off to somebody because they're rude erodes your character. You're right? Okay, so, and being victimized erodes your character also when you just sit and take it. I just would get so angry with parents that would just, they would just be so mean to their kids and expect that they're going to have a decent relationship with them and expect their kids to respect them and want to be with them and, yeah, let's go on vacation so you can treat me like dirt. Woohoo! Can we please? I think not. So I get really frustrated with parents more than I do with kids because parents are the ones that are supposed to be teaching. And I'll do a video on that later where I'm talking to parents about some things they could do to help with their relationship with their kids. But for now, I really want you to hear me and hear me well. You need to be direct with your parents. So let's say your mom marries a guy, you really don't like him, but you're respecting the fact that she does, and you're trying to not get in the way, but you feel like your mom is spending a whole lot of time with your new stepdad and not spending time with you. Instead of saying anything about your stepdad, because she's going to rise to his defense probably, at least initially, take him off the table. Don't talk about him at all. Say to your mom, hey mom, I really miss you and I really miss spending time with you. Could we have a date? Could we just have a mom-daughter date, shopping or water skiing or surfing or riding, horses or whatever it is that you love to do, do it. Okay. But you see how it's a little different. You said to her, I miss you, instead of, I really hate this guy you married. You see the difference? There's a big difference. And really, if your mom spent time with you, this new stepdad wouldn't be so annoying to you, right? Okay, so let's say that your dad is kind of like Hitler, and he's like, you need to clean your room, and you need to get off the phone, and you need to do all this stuff. Well, what if you went to your dad and you said, hey, I get what you're saying, and I totally agree, like I do need to clean my room. I mean, you need to throw him a little bone here, okay? I agree with you. However, I really, really, really don't like the way you talk to me. I would really love it if you would just say, hey, would you please clean your room? And I would love it if we had a relationship outside of you telling me what to do. Like, let's go do stuff together. Let's sit down and talk about stuff. Let's go throw the football around. Let's go, do something fun. Because what happens is that when you have a parent-child relationship where there is no fun, and somebody's always just getting told what to do, and somebody's always mouthing off, and the parents are pretty good at mouthing off too, it goes south so bad. And it's like, this is not rocket science, people. Like, I'm not trying to like judge or anything, but like if you were to sit back and watch that, you'd be like, huh, that is not going to go well, right? Okay, so whatever the situation is, deal with that person directly. If there's someone else involved, try not to bring that other person up, okay, if you possibly can. Even if it's a sibling and you feel like they're getting spoiled or something, just say, hey mom, it just kind of feels like we just don't, have enough time together, or whatever. Just be direct. Talk to your parents. I had one client that one parent was actually very abusive, and the other one just stood there and watched it. And this kid really loved the parent who would stand there and watch it, but she was horrified and broken because this parent would stand there and watch it. And she said to me, when I go off to college, I'm never coming back. And I said, well, what about the other parent, the one that's not abusing you? And she said, they didn't stick up for me, so I'm not coming back. And I said, but do you want it to be that way? And she said, well, no. And I said, well, have you told that parent? And she said, no. And I said, you need to. You need to tell them how you feel. When you tell somebody how their actions have affected you, you are now like handing them the baton. Think about a track race, and you are handing the baton off. Now it is that person's responsibility to deal with it. And if that parent has the opportunity to hear what that child is saying and go, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was affecting our relationship that way, then they have an opportunity to change, okay? Your job is to manage your half of your relationship with everybody. And the only way that you can do that is to communicate clearly, calmly, respectfully. You have to tell people how you feel, even if you're terrified. Write them a note. Send them an email. Although I really think in person is better, because a lot of things get lost in translation when it's not face-to-face, because people don't understand your tone or your body language, and most of our communication is our tone and our body language. So if you can do it face-to-face, do it. If you're worried that you don't want to cry in front of that person, put on waterproof mascara. It'll be okay. So I hope that helps. If you like what you see, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends, please, please, please. I would love to. I love to speak in places too, like schools and youth groups or whatever. So if you like what you see and you want to pass me on to the boss and see if you can get me to your place, I'd love that. And if you do that and you're the one that does that, I want to meet you. That'd be great. So anyway, if you want to check out the blog, whatwouldyourhairdressersay.com, please do that. If you want to send me a question, please do. If you want to give me some feedback really nicely, that would be great. Love to you all. I'll see you soon.